Welcome to Stormwater Drainage Solutions. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to splice into an existing corrugated drainage pipe. Now, on this particular project, we're going to be using a T-fitting because we are simply just catching an AC drip line. So it's not a whole lot of water entering the system. But say you wanted to connect a downspout into the system, you could use a Y, and this exact method would work the same way for a Y fitting. So as you can see, I'm putting the T-fitting on there and getting it lined up to where I want it to run. Now, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need tile tape for the joints, and you're going to need something to cut the pipe. Either a reciprocating saw, a hacksaw, or you can use a box cutter as well to cut through your corrugated pipe. If you're using a box knife, be very careful because depending on the type of corrugated pipe, it might be tougher to cut than others. Now you can see here, I'm going to make my first cut through this pipe. I lined it up with the T. That way my lateral line that's coming off of the T will be lined up with the trench that's already dug there. I'm going to take that fitting again and put it down as a place marker and count the corrugations before I make my next cut. Now this is very important. You want to make sure that you have at least 3 corrugations on either side that can push into the hubs of that T. That way it makes a good solid connection. Once you know where you need to make your cuts, cut that section of pipe out and discard it. Now, corrugated pipe is a lot easier to work with. Notice how I can bend that pipe out of the way because it flexes, and then I can push my T-fitting onto the other side of the corrugated pipe. Now with PVC, this would be a little bit more challenging, and we will be doing a video on that in the future on how to make a tie-in to an existing PVC drain line. So now you're going to use your tile tape on the joints. Tile tape is very important. Tile tape keeps water in your system so it does not leak out and attract roots, because if you have water leaking out at the joints, any roots that are in that area are going to sniff that water out and they're going to grow directly into that joint and get into your drainage tile. You do not want that to happen, obviously. The other reason why tile tape is very important is because while water is flowing through the system on a heavy downpour, it can actually pull sediment and fines from above into the system through the seam, and this creates a small sinkhole in the yard. So tile tape is very important. Do not skip out on the tile tape. It's also called drainage tape. So I have one side tile taped up. Now I'm going to flex this pipe and the fitting and then push them together. See how easy that was? And then I'll be using the tile tape on that joint as well to go ahead and tile tape that up. This simple DIY video allows you, the homeowner, to be able to easily connect in an additional lateral line to your existing drainage system. Say you have a downspout, an extra one that gets put up somewhere on the gutter run to be able to evacuate the water out of the gutter trough quicker. This will allow you to easily tie it into your existing system. Now, of course, in that situation, you would want to use a Y fitting and not a T fitting, because a Y fitting allows that water to make a smoother transition into the pipe instead of a T. Now, if you want to connect your AC drip line in, using a T is just fine because the water is just dripping in. So as you can see here, we have both joints nice and taped up with our drainage tape. Now the next step will be connecting our lateral line in. So we already went ahead and connected the lateral line. You guys know how that is. You push the pipe in, tile tape it up. The very last step now is going to be packing the dirt back in. Now you can see we do not want this section of pipe to become a belly. So make sure you put the dirt underneath the pipe first and get it nice and packed in. That way this section of pipe doesn't sag. You can see how straight that corrugated pipe was installed when we first installed that system. We do not want to mess up the good installation. So pack that pipe in very well before you bury it up completely. I hope you enjoyed this quick DIY video on how to connect into an existing corrugated pipe. And if you did, give us a thumbs up. It supports us, it supports the channel, it helps out what we do. And until next time, this is Stormwater Drainage Solutions signing off.